Hey guys, Fistful Philosophy here. Welcome back to the channel. Second video. I'm excited. We have another tier list today. Mythical UFC fighters. I'm so excited to get into this. Please let me know what you think. Comment down below and subscribe. Alright, we got a new tier list. We got all the mythical fighters in UFC history today. I'm very, very excited. There's some good ones. There's some bad ones. There's some ones I disagree with. There's some ones I agree with. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts below. So please let me know if you enjoy. And without further ado, let's get started. There's nothing like the Mcgregor era. Motivated Mcgregor. S tier. Not much else to say. He was the fucking best. I mean, Dennis Siver, Chad Mendes, Jose Aldo, avenged his loss against Diaz, Eddie Alvarez to become double champ. Greatest era, you just had to be there, and if you weren't there, then you missed out. Nothing else to say. Let's move on. Cocaine Bones Jones. So, as a lot of you may know, John tested positive for a certain substance after UFC 182 when he fought Daniel Cormier for the first time. And see, I don't love this quote-unquote mythical fighter idea of a cocaine bones because, it's not like he's ever been bad. It's John fucking Jones, It's John Bones, oblique kick, eye poke, will do anything to win Jones. And I guess just the lead up to this cocaine-fueled Las Vegas weekend when he fought Shogun, then Rampage, then Vitor, then Chael, then Gustafsson, then Glover. No specific order, but yeah, I mean, he's always been a beast. No really mythical fighter era. He's just always been good. So I'm going to put this one in D tier. Moving on. Sober Paulo Costa. So a lot of people forget that coming into the UFC, this guy was undefeated. And he started the UFC with a 5-fight win streak. He beat Johnny Hendricks, he beat Uriah Hall, and he dog-walked Yoel Romero. The only guy to do that to him. Even Rob Whittaker didn't do that. Then, he found a red wine. He just couldn't resist the night before his Adesanya fight, or so he claims, and he got fucking blasted, and he lost, obviously, because you can't get drunk the night before of a fight against a guy like Israel Adesanya and win. I mean, anyone with, one brain cell would figure that out, but yeah, he lost, and then he lost to Marvin Vettori, even though he's trying to get out of that fight by being overweight, and Marvin was like, no, it's okay. Let's go anyways. Then he beat washed up Luke Rockhold and then lost to Robert Whittaker. So sober Paulo Costa was truly something special. Undefeated, 5-fight win streak to start off the UFC. I'm going to put sober Paulo Costa at the top of the B tier. Moving on. We got Ubereem. Alistair Ubereem. Yeah, he was on the juice. Probably still is on the juice in 2024. He's probably still fighting. I don't even know. Let's look it up quickly. Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem, sure dog. 43 years old. Last fight. Oh, I guess he's not. 2021. I thought he still was like into the fighting game and everything. I guess not though. Maybe I just saw something fake. I don't know. Let me know if you know anything about that. But yeah, he was on the juice 2008 to like 2013. He just looked like the Incredible Hulk. He had a crazy run where he beat Mark Hunt, Gary Goodridge, Fabricio Werdum, Brock Lesnar, and then lost to Bigfoot Silva. And yeah, everyone knows Ubereem, or you've probably heard of him. He's a pretty famous mythical fighter. I'm going to go ahead and put him actually in the A tier. He's probably going to end up at the bottom of the A tier, but yeah, truly a mythical fighter. He was a beast. I mean, you can just see it in the photo. So next, we got the one guy that's going to be ahead of the motivated Mcgregor era. The one mythical fighter. So I know I said earlier that this man right here, Johnny Bones Jones, beat a certain someone by the name of Chael Sonnen, but he didn't. Chael Sonnen's from Westland, Oregon. Truly inspirational story. He got out of the gutters from there, and he's never lost a round. He's undefeated, undisputed. Truly the goat of the sport. No mythical era, just always been mythically good. And for that reason, Chael Sonnen's going to be at the top of the S tier. Moving on. TRT Belfort. TRT Belfort. A tier. I mean, this guy fucking caved someone's eye in, man. Bisping lost his eye because of this guy, because he was on too much testosterone replacement therapy. Yeah, the only guys he lost to during this TRT infused era was Anderson Silva and Sean Jones. And then when he stopped taking TRT, or when the UFC realized that, yeah, this is just basically steroids, as you can see in the after USADA photo, he looks a bit different. Went on a lot of, had a lot of losses, one might say. But a lot of first round knockouts, a lot of putting people in danger, hence Bisping losing his eye. And for that reason, he's an A tier fighter, TRT Belfort. Next, one championship rules, Petr Yan. I was actually talking to my friend about this the other day. Would Petr Yan be the bantamweight champion right now if the UFC had the same rules as one championship? In my opinion, there is a chance that he would be. Now, hear me out. Let's say he beats Aljamain because he's allowed to knee a grounded opponent. UFC hates Aljamain Sterling. Let's be real. He's not getting a rematch. Let's say he fights Sean O'Malley or Sanhagen or whoever it is. He arguably beat Sean O'Malley in their 3-round fight. And yes, Sean O'Malley started to put a lot of pressure and started to win the fight in the 3rd round. But Petr Yan, it gets better throughout a fight, usually. And there's a strong chance that if the UFC had one championship rules, he would still be the bantamweight champion today, and he would be known as the greatest bantamweight champion ever. I truly believe this. He could have beat Aljo, could have beat Sean. Maybe Merab would have taken it off him because Merab did beat him in a 5-round fight. But who knows if Petr Yan was more motivated, if he had been champion for a couple years before that fight had happened, who knows what would have happened? Could have been a whole different story. So that being said, C tier, one championship rules, Petr Yan. Truly a mythical fighter because we've never seen it, but like some of these other fighters, like it's never been an era. But yeah. So next we got one of the more iconic ones, some would say. My balls was hot. Derek Lewis, A tier. Yeah, I'm sure all of you know the story. Joe Rogan asked him why he took his cup out. He said his balls were hot after his fight against Volkov, and then he signed to fight Daniel Cormier at literally the next pay-per-view event. At this point, he was on a 3-fight win streak. He beat Marcin Tybura, which I know, not very notable. Please don't get mad at me, but yes, I do think Marcin Tybura is just like a fringe top 10 gatekeeper heavyweight, but what a heavyweight contender, not a contender. He's always going to stay at the 5 to 10 rankings. He'll never go past 5. He'll never go lower than 10. But he beat Ngannou in one of the greatest fights in UFC history, an absolute war. If you haven't seen it, go watch it right now. UFC 226, must watch. Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis, barn burner. And then he beat Volkov and said the iconic "My balls was hot" line. This was a nice. You know what, I'm gonna move it down to B tier, even behind Costa. I don't know why I put it at A tier. I got excited. It's a very famous line. Who didn't love it? But it's not like he was like a different beast during this era. He lost to Cormier, then lost to Junior Dos Santos, and then he fought Blagoy-Ivanov, whatever, and beat him by split decision. So yeah, let's move on to One Eye Bisping. This guy fought in the fucking UFC for 9 years after losing his damn eye, or he didn't lose his eye, you know what I mean? Lost his eyesight. Fought for 7 years after. Okay, maybe 7's a stretch. 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. I don't know. Yeah, Vitor Belfort, as I said before, TRT Belfort actually, TRT infused Belfort had kicked his eye out, and he lost vision in that eye and withheld this information from the public for as long as we can remember. And yeah, he struggled a bit after. Lost to Tim Kennedy, lost to Luke Rockhold, and then started going on a winning streak. Beat Anderson Silva, beat Luke Rockhold to win the title in their second fight on short notice. Beat Dan Henderson, and got a fight with the one and only George St. Pierre. So you could say that One Eye Bisping is truly a different fucking animal. And actually, I was going to put him in the C or B tier before this video, but the more I talk about it, I'm going to put him in the A tier. I'm going to put him in the A tier. Moving on. Shooeyvasa. Shooeyvasa. It sucks to talk about the Shooey man himself, you know, the average happy dad enjoyer himself, because it was something special. You know that Vance McMahon fucking meme where it was something special, and he starts like crying. It really was. Went on a 5-fight win streak in the UFC after losing 3 in a row. Every time you won, get up on the cage and you drink an alcoholic beverage out of a shoe. You know, some might see it as gross, others might see it as appealing. I loved it personally, but yeah, I'm gonna give Shooeyvasa a solid C tier. You know, he never went on a championship run. He lost to Cyril Gane. He got him down at one point though in the second round, I think it was, or third round maybe. And you know, it was a very fun fight. But then he lost to Sergey Pavlovich, and then he lost to Volkov, and then he lost to Tybura, who, you know, I don't think very highly of. So this era was cool, and it has sadly ended. Hopefully, we get to see another Shooey in the future, but it's a C tier, probably above Yan. Sorry, yeah. Moving on. Let's do blonde Derek Brunson. Blonde Brunson, more recent one. So Derek Brunson had a bad performance against Adesanya, pre-title winning Adesanya, and he decided to get some hair dye in him, and he went on a 5-fight winning streak, and he beat Edmund Shabazian, he beat Kevin Holland, he beat Darren Till, and then he lost to Jared Cannonier, and then he lost to Dricus Du Plessis, and then he lost to Ray Cooper. Now, do you notice something weird about the names I just said? He beat Edmund Shabazian, he beat Kevin Holland, he beat Darren Till, lost to Jared Cannonier, lost to Dricus Du Plessis. How is this considered a mythical fighter? So fucking what? He beat Darren Till and Kevin Mr. I'll Fight Anyone Holland, who's so overrated, man. Like, yeah, he's a fan favorite. He'll fight anyone. He's a badass, but like, so overrated. Darren Till, who lost all motivation, decided to become Khamzat Chimaev's sparring partner as a professional living. Man, so fucking what? And then he lost to Cannonier, and man, the fight against Dricus Du Plessis, like, come on. Like, are we even going to talk about that? Like, his corner had to stop it. He got gassed out. Blonde Brunson, D tier. I don't like it. I don't think it's that cool. I don't think it has an aura or anything. But let's move on. This is one of my more favorite ones. Honestly, this is one of my elite ones. Athiest Rory McDonald. Athiest Rory McDonald. I'm gonna put this in the A tier. Man, this guy. I mean, he had possibly the greatest fight in UFC history. He's beat Nate Diaz, ragdolled him, beat BJ Penn, beat Jake Ellenberger, beat Damian Maia, beat Tyron Woodley. And yeah, then he had the greatest fight in probably UFC history against Lawler. I mean, did you hear the names I just said? Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley, BJ Penn, Nate Diaz. This guy was a monster. Before he started believing in God because of his wife, he was a monster. I mean, yes, I'm happy he found a new path in life. I'm happy he found something to pursue, but come on, man. He was such a beast. BJ Penn, Nate Diaz, Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley. Like, what a resume this guy has, man. Truly something special. And that's why he's at A tier. Let's move on. Missionary Oliveira. Missionary Oliveira. If you see Oliveira looking like he's ready to, how do I say this? Take it in Missionary. Get away from him. Get away from him. If you knock him down with a punch, get away from him. Get away from him. We saw what happened with Chandler. We saw what happened with Poirier. We saw what happened with Gaethje. And we saw what happened with Makhachev. I'm just kidding. We all know Makhachev is Oliveira's daddy. Please don't get mad at me, Oliveira fans. I struggled saying that because I was scared of thinking of your guys' reactions. But yeah, Makhachev is Oliveira's daddy. Oliveira will never beat him. And that's why Missionary Oliveira is like solid C tier. If he beat Makhachev, let me tell you, this guy would be something different. If Makhachev knocked him down and then Oliveira got him into guard and submitted him, he'd be something special. But yeah, Makhachev's his bitch. I'm sorry, Oliveira's Makhachev's bitch. He'll always be his daddy. Let's move on. Gyno / Contender Izzy Adesanya. So it's weird. I put Gyno slash Contender Izzy because he's almost had two separate mythical fighter eras. One was Gyno Adesanya, which was mainly when he had Gyno for the Paulo Costa fight, which was extremely suspicious considering he had his best performance ever after. And why would a 28-year-old or whatever he was at the time man have random Gyno right before fighting in a mixed martial arts cage? His nipples sagged and he looked like a 50-year-old mother. It wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. He was on steroids. Let's just say it how it is, and he was a different beast that night. And then he lost to Jan Blachowicz. So Gyno Izzy, not that cool. But then I was thinking, Contender Izzy. Contender Izzy's the true mythical fighter. Think about it. Contender Izzy had that fight with Gaslam, one of the best fights in UFC history, when he was contending for the interim title fight. He had that performance against Rob Whittaker, one of his greatest performances, one of the best in middleweight title history, when he was contending for the belt. He had that second fight against Alex Pereira when he knocked him out, when he was contending for Alex Pereira's middleweight belt. Contender Izzy is a true mythical fighter, and that is why I'm going to put this photo of Gyno Adesanya, represented as Gyno slash Contender Izzy, at the bottom of B tier. Next, third round Romero. You don't even need a fucking third round to be afraid of this guy. It's Yoel Romero, but let's just go over his wins in the third round. So, Derek Brunson, third round, TKO. Tim Kennedy, third round, TKO. Lyoto Machida, third round, KO. Chris Weidman, third round, KO by flying knee. Luke Rockhold, third round, KO by punches. This is a true mythical fighter. I mean, how many third round finishes against elite fighters do you need? And it's already the Cuban lab experiment, Yoel Romero. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. S tier. S tier. Argue with your mum. Moving on. Deshaun Strickland. I don't know about this one, because I love Sean Strickland. I love the whole Deshaun Strickland meme, when his gym got him in the do-rag and gave him the Hennessy bottle. I loved it. It was funny. But he did just lose his belt to Dricus du Plessis, which I know a lot of people think is a robbery, but DDP did win that fight, in my opinion. He did just lose his belt to him. And yeah, he had maybe the greatest upset in men's, or not the greatest. That's Matt Serra. There's a few greater ones, but one of the biggest upsets in UFC history in men's title fights. And I don't know. It's not like he had a whole era of it. It's a funny meme. It doesn't have that good of an aura. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of C tier. No, I'm gonna put him at the top of C tier, behind Shooeyvasa. Let's move on to the man we were just discussing, actually, Dricus du Plessis. So this guy looked like a drunk uncle against Derek Brunson. I thought he was a fucking joke. I thought him against Robert Whittaker was about to be blasphemous. I thought the fact that Whittaker was only like a minus 300 or minus 400 favorite, whatever it was crazy. And then this fucking machine-looking man, Dricus du Plessis, comes out and all of a sudden smokes Robbie Whittaker. And then you find out he had a fucking surgery to get his second nostril able to breathe. And since then, he's now the champion of the middleweight division with a win over Sean Strickland. So we're currently in the two nostril Dricus du Plessis era. Right now, I would say it's a solid middle of C. I'd say it's a solid middle of C tier mythical fighter, but it could improve because we are in this era right now. His middleweight reign is technically the two nostril DDP era. So let's move on. Zigged instead of zagged Chandler. Yeah, I bet you he loses sleep at night over this one. Why would he say that? Why would he say he zigged instead of zagged? When he lost to Oliveira, he got knocked the fuck out. 20 seconds into round 2 after, basically coming centimeters away to winning the fight in the first round. You didn't zig instead of zag, but let's just act like he did. And since he started zigging instead of zagging, He had a loss against Justin Gaethje, but was a fight of the year. He had an insane front kick KO against Tony Ferguson, and he had another dog war against Dustin Poirier, which he lost by submission. So yeah, it's not like he's some animal who's on a win streak right now, but he's had some crazy highlights, crazy moments since zigging instead of zagging. Nothing crazy though. I'm gonna put him in D tier. I'm gonna put him in D tier. Yeah. Let's move on. Patient Ngannou. Okay, this is an overrated one. Patient Ngannou is some bullshit. Okay, this guy was not fucking patient. First round, 45 seconds, Curtis Blades. First round, 26 seconds, Cain Velasquez. First round, a minute 11 seconds, Junior Dos Santos. First round, 20 seconds, Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Does that sound like a fucking patient man to you? Are you serious? Oh, he was patient against Stipe though. What, second round, 52 seconds in is patient? Why? Why? Like since when? It was a 5 round fight. He was patient against Cyril Gahn though. No, he wasn't. He just had a different game plan. He had a wrestling orientated game plan. He was not patient. Just didn't care to knock him out. I don't know. People love to hype it up. I'd say like a better name for it would be like not patient Ngannou, um like fucking get this guy away from me. I'm gonna quit fighting because of this man if I'm a heavyweight Ngannou with all these first round knockouts. But yeah, bottom of D tier. Um, I don't know. It just doesn't have an aura. It doesn't have a good name. Like Patient Ngannou. I don't like that name. I'd rather like something cooler. I don't know. Call me crazy. Maybe I'm just losing it. We're getting near the end of the video though. We're gonna our second to last one. We have no sparring Holloway. This is another interesting one to me because it's not like he's had an era of no sparring. He's always done no sparring for his camps. He's documented this. Um, and Max Holloway has always been a fucking beast. So I guess you could say no sparring Holloway's his career, but why don't we just call it Holloway? He doesn't spar before his fights. This guy's resume, and this is kind of off topic, but I'm gonna just put him. I'm gonna put him in the C tier instead of D tier. Not because of a mythical fighter, but I just want to talk about this. He lost to Conor McGregor, and then he went on a 13 fight win streak, lost to Poirier up a weight class, beat Frankie Edgar, lost to Volk twice in very controversial decisions, had maybe the best performance in featherweight history against Calvin Kattar, beat Yair unanimously, lost to Volk, yes, he did get beat up, and then beat Arnold Allen and Chan Sung Jung, Korean Zombie. This guy's resume and career is so impressive, it's insane. So let's not even call it no sparring Holloway. Let's just call it Max Holloway in the C tier. And last but not least, we're going to put this one behind Chael. It comes close, but we have Tony Ferguson. This guy went on a 13 fight win streak to end his career. He ended it with a title fight against Khabib. He was getting dominated the whole fight, kind of like similar to Anderson Silva and Chael, and then he got him in a armbar at the end, and Khabib tapped. Tony got the belt, was crying, he's going crazy, hugging his family, and we haven't heard from him since. He rode into the sunset. Yeah, he's the GOAT at lightweight. 13 fight win streak. What else can we say? This is what we all wanted for Tony. We love him, and we hope he's doing well. So, anyways, thank you. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think. And yeah, this is my mythical fighter tier list.